here. Hi, everybody. I am so excited, beyond excited. We are live with our potentially final finale episode of Neverland and the Runaways, which is an official playtest for the Neverland setting for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition that no one asked me to write. So I am beyond excited to share this with you and share this with these awesome players who have adventured through this with me. While I make it up. Before I introduce all of them, I want to thank Welcome to the Party for hosting us and for letting me do this experiment on this channel, and especially to thank the sponsors of Welcome Party RPG for all that they do to support us, including Tabletop Loot, the dice sponsor of Welcome to the Party. If you go on to tabletoploot.com and use the code WTTPDICE, you get 15% off of all the cool dice you're going to buy. And of course, always a big thank you to our good friend Maddie of So Chatty. He has an amazing merch shop that is the sole provider of all the Welcome to the Party merch, as well as the Neverland merch as well. So go to sonerdwear.com, use the code WELCOME at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your next purchase. And Welcome to the Party is proudly sponsored by Roll20, the virtual tabletop that runs right out of your browser. You get everything you need. Even with a free account, you get click-to-roll character sheets, built-in video and voice chat. You get to build your own maps and tokens that you can design. And if you go to roll20.net/start/WTTP, you can sign up now and get a free account. And finally, Welcome to the Party is sponsored by the great and wonderful Devin Rue, who makes some of the best cartographical content available on the web. So go please check out rueinc.com, rueink.com. And come join us in Patreon. You can support our channel, support the people who are on this channel, and your generosity keeps this site going and keeps us working on our mission to platform incredible LGBTQ and BIMPOC players and creators. So check out patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg, please. And then hang out in the Discord and have some chats with us and meet everybody who's a part of the awesome community. And with that, I want to introduce some of my favorite people in the universe who have made an incredible journey with me and have made it possible for me to finish this product that I cannot believe is real. I want to start with Kate, please, and we'll go around the circle. Tell me who you are, who you're playing.
First off, Diana, screw you for making me almost cry within 5 minutes of this starting. Hi, I'm Kate. I play Arlie, the Tiefling Valor Bard, who is an adult-ish.
So, good clarification in this setting in particular. Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan. Thank you so much. If you've been following us this far, if today is your first time, welcome. It's gonna be a day. I play Riddance, who is a dragonborn child who happens to be a sorcerer, wizard, bard, paladin, a font of imagination.
Yes.
And we will see what happens, I guess.
Yes. Sarah.
Hi. Also, thank you to everybody who's been on this journey with us, players, DMs, viewers alike. I am Sarah. I play Tessa, the human automancy wizard, who is also an adult-ish.
Yes. And Russ.
I'm Russ, and I'll be playing Jehan, the Paladin Oath of Redemption elf. They are also a child. Yeah, this is gonna be a weird and dangerous time. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. And I'm Diana. I am the GM and everyone and no one. I will just say real quick, we are starting this in the middle of combat. For anyone who's never checked in with us before or has missed this notification in the past, the children are immune to death. We do not kill children in this setting. We do not kill children ever in D&D, so we will not be doing that. So please feel free to feel tense and adventurous with us, but know that the children are safe. The adults, however, are not safe. So last week on our last episode, the Lost Ones, they adventured to Earth. They met the previous Pan, a woman named May Mannering. They did manage to get the contract from her and get her to hand it over to them just long enough for 3 of the Lost Ones to attempt to sign it. Arlie, Jehan, and Tessa all attempted to sign simultaneously, and as Riddance did the same, the contract was taken by a shadow that grabbed it and flew out the window and up into the sky and away, far away. So the Lost Ones did follow the shadow, stealing this contract through space back to Neverland, and confronted Pan and all of the Lost Ones together on the floating island atop Neverland. Pan took the contract, flew up into the sky, was chased and confronted very directly at first by Jehan. There was a conflict down below between all of the Lost Ones, including Nibs and Arlie and Sarah. Riddance managed to gain the favor of almost all of the Lost Ones that were previously in allegiance to Pan. And Tinkerbell, her deal with the Lost Ones being up, has traveled back to Pan's side. At this time, I believe Arlie procured the contract and has flown off in the direction of where she believes she may find the Scorpions. And who was following her?
Riddance was, definitely, as was Morgan.
And as was Morgan, and Riddance's shadow, which is apart from himself right now.
Right.
Yes. Where's Jehan right now?
Jehan is 1v1 Pan currently, approximately 30 to 40 feet in the air after turning Pan's storm into a bright and sunshiny day.
Yes. And where is Sarah? Sarah's not here.
Yeah.
Where's
No, Sarah the fairy is still in the bottle somewhere.
Yes.
Tessa is on the ground near Jehan and Pan, having just set a good chunk of the Lost Ones on fire.
Yes, that is very true. You did do that.
I did.
So let's start. Let's start with figuring out what Arlie is doing. You are at the head of this this chain, traveling to try to find the Scorpions. What is it that you're going to try to do here?
Do I notice Riddance following me?
You're going to have to roll a perception to notice that. You're kind of focused on a very daunting task, multiple ones.
That's true. 11?
No.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, because I'm on my own, quote unquote, I'm going to try and imagine myself as invisible and going extra fast to try and get to Rufio, so that I can get to Rufio and then get back to the fight as quickly as possible.
Okay. What is your magic ability modifier?
5.
Okay. Arlie, you kind of close your eyes and just let Neverland guide you. It is, you're unsure if it's going to work even. You don't know where the Scorpions stay. They move around all the time. And you're just kind of trying to get a sense for where he is, where they are. And Riddance, you're not terribly too far behind her. You see her up ahead. Morgan is next to you. You probably don't notice how concerned he looks about this dark, shadowy figure that is flying, just hovering a few feet above you.
Of course.
But he has got eyes locked on it.
Okay.
And what is Riddance trying to do? Just follow?
Yeah, Riddance told Morgan to follow Arlie, and then he got the chance to do the same. So he's just kind of like trailing behind. I think he saw her get the contract and go.
Yes.
So that's all he knows. He's just trying to catch up.
Trying to catch up. Gotcha. All right. And Tessa, you are still on the ground?
Yeah, and there's still one of my mirror image duplicates up.
One left up.
One left. I think we ended the session with Arlie sending Tessa a message.
Yes.
Yeah, I told Tessa that I was going to roof you.
You did. All right. So Tessa knows what that general plan is, but you do see Jehan up above you in a face-to-face with Pan. You are surrounded by lost ones, most of whom look friendly to you now, some of whom are charred, and one of whom, Toodles, is in very bad shape.
I can do literally nothing about that with my skill set. So sorry, Toodles. Is Pan, I know I'm within visual range of Pan, but is Pan looking at me?
No, Pan is involved in something right now. Pan's busy. Pan's looking directly at Jehan.
Okay. Sorry, Toodles. Say that. And then I'm gonna burn my last first level spell slot to cast Disguise Self.
Okay. And who do you make yourself look like?
I want to look like Mei Mei.
Take an inspiration point. That's brilliant. Okay. Okay. Now, do you make yourself look like Mei Mei as you met her? You look like an old woman?
I want to kind of anticipate, because when we were in her apartment, she started to look a little bit younger and all that. Yes. I want to kind of estimate, based on that, what she may have looked like when Pan met her.
Very good. You know what? Just give me a performance roll to kind of execute that.
I'm going to use that inspiration point on that too.
That's very good.
That's better. 14.
Absolutely. All right. I mean, you know what? Maybe her family would be able to tell that it's not her, but you get a pretty good idea. You maybe even saw some pictures in her apartment of what she looked like. You see the color of her hair coming back when you were there with her, and you look like a 20-something version of this woman that you met.
Excellent. And then I just kind of want to fly up into the air. I don't want to get in Jehan and Pan's space, but be like on that same eye line level. And then that would be her turn.
Excellent. All right, Jehan, flying up beside you, but not directly in combat space with you and Pan, is apparently Mei Mei Mannering. Wow. Pan turns and takes a glance at you and drops about 10 feet into the air and then stops themselves and hovers again. Tink remains up in your face though, Jehan. And at that point, because I forgot what the old initiative order is, can everybody roll initiative for me?
Does Riddance need to?
Riddance, you do not. Just right. These folks here in this.
Gotcha.
11.
17.
Okay. Oh, Jehan, you're gonna stay at the top.
Thank goodness. But also the worst.
Let's see. Okay, Jehan, what are you doing?
Jehan's gonna look at May and say, May, you shouldn't be here. Just stay back. I'll take care of this. And Jehan is going to do something very dumb. I have a question for you, Diana.
I hope I have an answer for you.
I can talk during my turn while doing other things, correct?
Yeah, talking is a free action as long as we don't.
I don't go into a
monologue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jehan is going to bonus action cast Sanctuary on themselves,
Okay.
which does not break concentration.
Good.
And then, as an action, going to take the dodge action to make themselves very hard to hit.
Okay.
And then they're going to look at Pan and say, and start laughing and go, 4 days. That's all it took for me to completely dismantle your empire, Pan.
Okay. Intimidation, please.
And I have a second question for you.
You ask it.
Does Tink still have the barrette in her hair?
Yes.
Okay. That is with my bonus an 18 against Pan.
Pan, now about 10 feet below you, looking up, is going to try to fly up to meet you. And you see that they don't look like they're having an easy time doing it. Fly up a couple of feet and kind of float back down again. And the sky will start to roll back in with some clouds, some dark clouds coming in from the sky. Mm-hmm. And is that your turn?
Unless I already used action and bonus action, so I think I would just move down to be face to face with Pan again.
Okay, excellent.
I want Pan to stay on eye level with me.
All right. That is Pan's turn then. Pan is mad.
Good.
Pan is very mad.
That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Pan is going to kind of clench his eyes and his teeth together and just kind of let out this horrible scream that is not quite a crow. It sounds like it's coming from the same guttural place, but it is not joyful and happy. It is angry. And just like what happened to Riddance, a kind of dark shadow will come off of Pan and sit flying beside them. Pan is going to then fly away from you. And
Wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Because of compelled duel.
Yeah. And it's going to be a 17.
That's going to pass.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pan will fly away. The shadow will stay. And you see there's nothing in the shadow's hands. The shadow is not holding anything. But it swipes at you with
it's going to have disadvantage to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it does hit, it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's very excellent. All right. Does a 16 hit you?
Nope. AC is 18.
Okay. Wow, nice, Jehan. Jehan's pretty bamf. So, okay. Shadow takes a swipe and misses, and Pan flies away. Tessa?
I'm gonna fly after Pan.
Okay.
I don't know how far away they are at this point.
At this point, they are about 60 feet away from you.
Okay. Then I'll like movement and then use my action to dash to get
all the way.
Yeah, to get all the way there.
Yep.
Would like to just kind of like slowly like float down in front of them.
Okay. So you use the dash accent to kind of overtake and
then
then
kind of like overshoot just by a little bit.
You can do that, yeah. Because go
ahead. Sorry.
Your flying speed is 40. Pan's is 60.
Excellent.
So you can use that dash action to go a little bit ahead.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to smile and look as non-threatening as possible and just look at them and say, Bran, we talked about this. Remember what the job is.
All right. Make a deception check for me, please.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Inspiration for that. That's actually worse.
Oh.
So
what was your better roll?
It was a 6.
Okay, that does not matter. Okay. All right.
Unless I can re-roll with the second inspiration point. I don't know if I can do that.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Didn't think so.
One use. Pan, as soon as you land in front of Pan, this like wave, it's almost like wind blowing him back where he like kind of goes vertical in the air and stops and is terrified, looks terrified. And then you say this and it's like the fear it is still present, but then like slowly a smile kind of comes back to Pan's face, like head tilts at you and is going to kind of rear back to start flying. Do you do anything else?
Yeah. Let's be stupid. As a bonus action, because I already used my action, but just kind of prepping for next round.
Sure.
As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath on myself.
Okay.
For lightning damage seems appropriate for an incoming storm. So
very good. Very good.
Up and running.
Okay. At this point now, Tinkerbell, who is still near to where you are, Jehan, but just a little bit above you, is going to fly off in the direction Pan, the real Pan, went. And at that point, I think we'll go and take a look at what Arlie and Riddance and Morgan are up to. So Arlie, you find your way back to the mountains, back to where you had back to where you had first met the Scorpions. And it's not far from that first campsite that you stumbled upon them that you feel drawn to land. Not in this exact same spot, but almost a few feet away. There's another like kind of cavern carved into the side of this cliff. And you see Rufio, a few others that you don't recognize, huddled around a campfire. Kind of unanticipating your arrival.
Did the invisibility bit work?
Yes, it did.
It did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to drop that. And before they see me, or actually before I drop the invisibility, I'm going to tear open in my armor. I'm going to tear open a little hole and I'm going to put the contract in it, like a little pocket.
Yes.
And then I'm going to kind of hold my hand over the wound, quote unquote. And then I will drop invisibility and I'll call out to Rufio.
Okay. All right. You do exactly that. You call out to Rufio, looks a little shocked, stands up, draws weapon. Oh.
Hi. Bit of a situation. We're fighting Pan actively.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Good news, got the contract. Bad news, Pan knew and figured it out. So now we're just trying to keep the contract away from him. And I have 2 requests, if maybe 3, if you'll listen to them.
Cool. Before that happens, Riddance, you weren't terribly too far behind. You will see Arlie land. What are you doing before we play this scene out? Are you landing right behind her or anything else?
Well, Riddance is like mindset is just to kind of beeline straight for Arlie.
Okay.
And I think that he's gonna like kind of like try to bro fist both Morgan and the Shadow in like solidarity, trying to like get the confidence to fly in and be a part of the day.
Okay. All right. Riddance, Riddance high fives, and then lands down right behind you, Arlie, as you are explaining the situation to Rufio, who says the contract's real, and then turns, sees Riddance land, and goes, no.
I will turn around. Oh, Riddance. Oh, dear. Hey.
You got to get that back
Shadow.
in that. Yeah, good.
Hey, Rufio. Hey, Arlie.
Hi.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to help.
So well, I'm just dropping off my bag with Rufio, and then we'll keep going. We'll head back and we'll keep the fight up. Okay?
Okay. And Riddance is gonna try to like close the distance with Arlie and try to give like a reaffirming like shoulder pat or a like.
I will go up to Riddance rather than having Riddance go closer to Rufio. I'm gonna go up to Riddance and accept the pat, and I will give him a solid hug. And Riddance, I need you to do a really big job for me. Can you keep a lookout while I speak to Rufio really quickly?
I promise.
You promise? Okay,
and
good.
I promise I'm gonna protect you. And while he's still like taking the embrace, his like intention manifests as casting protection from evil and good on Arlie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's cast successfully. And then Arlie, you go to hand. Go ahead. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay. Sorry. You cast that successfully. You go to speak to Rufio after that. Riddance, as they go to have this conversation, you see Morgan staring kind of cross-armed at your shadow, quizzically looking at it and trying to puzzle out what's going on. Your shadow is going to come over to you and sort of make the gesture that it is whispering to you.
Right.
It does not say anything because it cannot talk.
Okay.
Because it is a shadow, but it does this motion, and it looks to be doing so. As it is doing that, Arlie, what are you doing?
I'm so nervous about that shadow. I'm trying really hard not to like glance back for a couple of seconds.
Yes.
While speaking to Rufio, basically I'm explaining kind of what exactly has been going on, what we've been doing, what we've been up to. I will explain that I had the contract in my bag, or have the contract in my bag. I don't know Rufio that well, so I don't tell him that I still have the contract, but you know, I figure it's safer with me. So basically what I'm doing is I'm asking Rufio to guard the contract. And I'm going to put a hand over my chest, which is also where the contract is actually hidden, as well as a hand on my bag. And I'm going to cast non-detection on the contract itself, so that the contract cannot be located magically for 8 hours.
Okay. Okay. And you hand your bag over to Rufio.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to keep asking you for things, but you wouldn't happen to have any more of that memory potion, would you?
Well, we just made a little bit, but you know, it's kind of not easy to come by.
I know. And I wouldn't ask if this wasn't a rather desperate attempt at righting this exceedingly big wrong that's been done.
Who are you going to use it on?
Pan?
Can I be real with you?
Yeah?
I'll give this to you.
Sure.
But most physical things don't seem to affect Pan the way that they do us. Just letting you know that.
I appreciate the warning.
And we'll kind of let it drop into your hand.
Sure. And then I'm so sorry. Does anyone have like the mending spell? I have this really bad tear in my armor, and I think Pan's dagger got to me.
Yeah, that's more like the mother's kind of
Yeah, I thought so.
wheelhouse. We do the cutting part.
That's fair. I just thought I'd ask.
Not the mending part. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
So anyway, you said you were fighting Pan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
On the island of the Lost Ones.
Well, great. So we're sending everybody then.
What?
I'm sorry. Have we met? This is
right.
the battle that
I suppose it's
looking for our entire hundreds of years stuck on this floating rock.
okay.
And you think that you and the children get to do it by yourselves? I don't think.
I mean, we've been on our own up to this point.
I'll take that potion back if you know. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I thought that we helped quite a bit.
You've been super. I'm so sorry. The nerves are getting to me, I think. This is all a lot. This has all happened within 4 days, Rufio. I don't know. Yes, we would very much appreciate your assistance.
Well, great then. We'll have someone stay with your bag, and
Thank you.
the rest will come. I'm gonna go get everybody.
Sounds good. I know it might be difficult to get up to the island. I have an idea, and I'm going to shatter my bottle that has my fairy in it.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask Kate to stay with Rufio and to give them fairy dust if they need it.
Kate kind of listens to the summary of what's going on and absolutely agrees. Also looks back and seems very concerned with the Riddance shadow. Speaking of which, Riddance, as Arlie had stepped away to have this conversation, your shadow whispered into your ear and did not say anything, even though you waited for it to say something. And as you're waiting for it to say something, you just wait and wait and wait, and nothing happens. And you get kind of bored, and you start letting your mind wander, and you start thinking about fun things and cool things. Things you might want to do when this whole war thing is over, like games you might like to play. And then you're like, right, I never got to sign that contract. That's weird. And you just go, Arlie has the contract. She's not giving it to Rufio.
I still need to sign it.
Mm-hmm. She has it. It's okay. It's not going anywhere.
So then I guess Riddance is going to approach Arlie and Rufio.
Okay.
Just be like, hi, Rufio. Hi, Arlie. I'm doing pretty good protecting. I just remembered that I didn't actually get the chance to sign that contract yet, so I should probably do that.
Yes, I agree. I think we're going to take care of this Pan situation first, and then once everything's calmed down, we can take a minute and you can sign it. How does that sound?
I mean, that sounds fair and everything, but I should probably sign it like as soon as possible.
Absolutely. We'll sign it as soon as we can.
Does Riddance notice the hole in her armor?
Yeah. It's right in the front, right, Arlie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Arlie, your armor is broken.
And then
yeah.
Riddance moves forward to like touch the hole of the
Okay.
armor. Okay. And if you let him,
I'll
do you let him?
Very carefully. Before he gets too close, I will say that like the way I picture her armor is that it was sewn downward, so like it's basically a series of like interconnecting tubes, and I stuffed the contract really, really deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool because he just notices the hole, and he casts mending on it.
Okay, there you go. Your armor's fixed.
Yay!
It's wonderful.
I'll ruffle his frill. Thank you, kiddo. That was very sweet of you.
I'm here to protect you.
You are.
But I should really sign that contract.
As soon as we defeat Pan, you will have that opportunity. I promise you.
Is it going to be soon? Because I should probably do it now.
It's going to be soon. Tessa and
you don't need to
Jehan.
be that eager to go to war, where it's pretty serious stuff. You could stay behind with some of the crew if you want.
Well, I mean, is like maybe like before Pan even gets here, I should just sign the contract, right? It's the smartest thing for me to do.
Well, I mean, we're not waiting for Pan to come here because that would put the Scorpions at risk, So you and I are going to go back to the island as quick as possible, and Rufio and the others are going to follow later. And then as soon as we get the Pan situation handled, I promise I will give you the contract for you to sign.
Is Riddance compelled to like concentrate on the contract?
No, you just know that it's there.
Okay.
Yep, that's all.
Sure.
And with that, I just want to take a little flip screen back to Jehan. Jehan, Pan has flown away. Pan's shadow is trying to fight you. And Tinkerbell has also flown away. What would you prefer to do?
I could care less about Pan's shadow. Like, legitimately, don't give a crap about Pan's shadow.
Okay.
Jehan is going to fly after Pan because Pan has broken their duel. And Jehan has another stupid plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very paladin. Okay, go on. You're gonna get a attack of opportunity.
I don't care.
Which is not gonna hit anyway. Shadow's not as strong as Pan is. And you fly past.
So I'm going to move real quick, go towards Pan, and then probably dash because I can't reach. Because Pan has 60 feet of movement.
Yeah, Pan's faster at flying.
So I would go in between Pan and Mei and look Pan in the face and say, What, are you afraid? Are you scared of me? And then I'd also say, you were powerless once, had no fairy, had no magic. What if that happens again?
Pan says, it can't.
Are you sure? Take a
I'm
look
so
around.
sure.
And I'm going to look Pan in the eyes and I say, you've done it to everyone else on this place. Who's to say your comeuppance won't come soon? And I'm going to hold my staff out towards Pan, like
Okay.
pointing the antlers at Pan.
Okay. You do that. The clouds start to roll in. Thunder and lightning start to crack. Arlie, this has overtaken the entire island. So you, Rufio, Riddance, you all see this too, that the sky has gone dark again. The storm is kicking up. No rain around where you are, and no lightning or thunder where you are, but you hear it coming from just north of the floating islands, right over where the Nevergreen Forest is, which is the forest of dead trees that you discovered, I think, on your first day in Neverland. So that is where this is all coming from. At that point, Rufio is going to say, well, I have to go. I've got to get the mollusks, and we've got to alert the scorpions, and we're going to get there. Interesting idea. I'm going to tell the mermaids.
Oh.
You know, sometimes they could be a real wild card.
Don't I know it?
They might show up. Well, they won't show up themselves. They don't leave the water, but they might help in some way. I'll let them know.
Okay.
I'll let everyone know. Just hold tight as long as you can.
Okay. I think we can do that.
All right. And get that kid's shadow back in himself before something really, really bad happens.
How? I can't imagine we use like soap or something.
No, what are you, 6? No. You gotta, it's gotta go back inside him.
Great. Doesn't answer my question. How?
I don't know. He's got to do it.
I look at Riddance.
At Riddance, yeah.
Do you think you can get your shadow to join back with you?
I mean, yeah, my shadow and I are best buddies, and I'll just try to give him a big hug.
You give your shadow a hug. It tries to slip away.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, I'm going to try to bear hug it.
Okay, try again. All right, so Riddance. Riddance, I need you to believe for me. I need you to make your spell modifier roll to bear hug your shadow back into yourself.
It's +2. 12 + 2. So 14.
14. Your shadow did technically accomplish what it was told to do. And it kind of resists at first and then kind of reluctantly gives up. And you see the shadow kind of make like a sighing movement as it then kind of seeps back into you, and your shadow appears on the dirt in the ground as normal.
See, best friends. And Riddance like lifts his leg up and waggles his shadows.
And your shadow does the same thing. And Morgan looks concerned and says, well, I'm going to stick with wherever Riddance goes.
I think that's smart.
And Kate says she'll stay and do what you asked. and stay with the scorpions.
And I will thank her and that I'll see her soon.
Okay. All right. You are doing what now? The two of you.
I'm gonna turn to Riddance and be like, okay, we need to get back. I'm gonna try. Actually, I have an idea. Riddance, do you want to fly with me? And maybe one of us can try imagining us going even faster than we got here?
Oh, I can do that.
You want to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I will take his hand and we'll start heading back towards the island.
Yep. And Riddance is going to think really hard as they're flying, and he'll cast Expeditious Retreat.
Wonderful. Excellent. Okay. So you are speeding on your way. Rufio and the Scorpions are on their way to round up the troops because right now a storm is rolling in over your head, Jehan and Tessa. Lightning is striking through the sky all around you, very close to where you are in front of Pan, kind of concentrated right over where you stand, where you float, over this kind of clear and barren woods that you are floating above. You can hear some commotion in the distance. You hear rallying cries, horns going off. You get the sense that help is coming and you won't be on your own for very much longer. And that sense that Neverland is kind of behind you. I want everyone in the party to take an extra inspiration die for your use. You can tell that Neverland is kind of waking up all around you. And you know that those cries out there are for you. So that said, Jehan, what do you do?
Stupid plan time. So Jehan is going to hold out a hand to Mei and say, Mei, will you imaginate with me?
Absolutely.
And grabs onto Mei's hand and looks at Pan and says, you forced the world to do this. You forced fairy magic and Neverland. All you've ever used is force. You've never asked. Pan, I'm sorry, but you need to understand what you've done. And so I quickly wrote up something while during everyone else's turns.
Okay.
Jehan is going to recite a poem or something from mind, and I've written down what it says, just like coming up with it on the spot. Forces of Neverland, big and small, hear my voice, heed my call. Locked behind the starlight gate, ripped away from your fate. Let this land now be mend, break away from the trend. Change the hand you have been dealt. Now show Pan what you have felt. And point the staff towards Pan. Try and focusing on the fairy magic and everything.
Okay. And what happens when you do this is sort of just a manifestation of what is actually happening all around you. You point this at Pan, and those sounds, the scattered sounds of horns, of crows, of rallying cries that are kind of sporadically being heard all over the island in a bit of an echo. As you finish that poem and point at Pan, it's almost like there's one big choir of them all at once. And all of these horns going off are now charging at this direction. You can hear that they're all getting closer and they all kind of erupt into one big rallying cry. And it is in basically a circle of noise around Pan. And Pan will fall through the sky to the ground. and Tinkerbell will come up behind you. And Tinkerbell is going to make an attack on you from behind.
Fantastic.
All right, finally something hits Jayon. Jayon is invincible.
It needs to make a wisdom saving throw if they actually hit my AC.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, they did. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just gonna fail your wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So how I picture it with Sanctuary being cast
Mhm.
is that as Tinkerbell goes to strike Jehan, it's almost like a face appears, and it's a face of a lost one in like with pain in their face, just like the emotions of people in the world are sort of manifesting around Jehan, and that's the face that appears when Tinkerbell goes to strike.
Okay. Excellent. At this point, Tinkerbell, and the attack does not go through, right?
Nope.
No damage goes through. So Tinkerbell kind of does strike you in anger, which is kind of comical. There's not much to her. Does penetrate your armor and then is kind of thrown back. At this time, you can see in the sky from different directions. You see different groups kind of coming up towards you. However, one of them looks to be some of the lost ones, including Nibs. So not everyone coming this way is on your side. Most seem to be, but not all. And Tessa, what's going on?
So many things are going on
Yes.
right now.
Mhm.
So how far away are those? So, okay, Pan fell. Pan is on the ground
Mhm.
or falling.
Pan is on ground. He's on the
Does
ground.
Pan look conscious?
Yes.
I'm going to drop down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of standing, because I still look like May. Stand over them, kind of seeing if I can get like as intimidating looking as possible with the storm brewing behind me, and look down and say, "You're not doing the job, Bran. Give it up."
I know I'm not doing the job. That's the point. I didn't sign up for this to do a job.
You signed the contract. You signed up for this.
So? And he's going to laugh. And he's going to laugh more and more and more.
I'm going to breathe with my dragon's breath onto him.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's prone. I don't know if that makes a difference with his deck save.
He's not prone.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Just grounded, just standing on the ground.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna, since Pan is laughing at me and I have had it, and I've got Dragon's Breath prepped and on, well, yeah. So Pan needs to make a deck save.
Deck save. Yeah, easy pass for Pan on that one.
Still takes half damage.
Go for it.
So he takes 4 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Excellent. You do that, and Pan unabashedly strikes at you as well. It is a 19.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Let's see Pan do some damage here. Ooh, yay.
That's
9
not a good sound.
9 points slashing damage.
Okay.
With Pan's short sword. And is then, as soon as Pan hits you and does damage, Pan like lifts up into the air again and is going to start kind of free falling, somersaulting, and just kind of dancing around. At which point, Arlie, Riddance, you are now in view of what's happening mostly. You can see that a combat is happening through the tree line, kind of obscured, but it's thin in this woods. You can see that happening. You see Jahan up in the air with Tinkerbell behind them. You see all these different groups are very, very close now. And you see that Nibs and a couple of the lost ones just drop down into the woods, not but a few feet behind where this current combat is happening.
As a technical thing, as many action / bonus action as you would allow Riddance to convert second level spells into first, I would love to do using the sorcery points.
Second level spells into first. You've got a couple minutes in the sky. I would say you could do, let's say you could do 3 of those.
That's what I have.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Excellent. So at this point, Arlie and Riddance, roll me initiative so I can get you into this order here.
Sure.
And while we're flying, could I use my magic that was imbued by Neverland to try and focus on the potion and ask the magic of Neverland to help this potion work on Pan, please?
You can do that.
Thank you.
I rolled an 18 on my concentration check, so Dragon's Breath is still up.
Great.
Ren's initiative is 19.
Okay.
And Expeditious Retreat is a concentration spell, so Arlie's protection isn't on anymore.
Good to know. Okay. Arlie, what did you roll for initiative?
I rolled a natural 20 for a 25.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Wow.
All right. Arlie and Riddance came to party.
Yes.
They're here to party. All right, let's see who are joining friends. How are they going to come in here? All righty. Okay. Fun times. Arlie, you are flying up. You see 2 situations, both within your last bit of movement, but in 2 separate kind of directions you have to go to. You see Jahan and Tinkerbell up in the sky. You see Tessa in disguise.
Yeah, you see a young May. You do not see Tessa.
You see a young May fighting Pan.
Okay.
In the woods, and you see these other lost ones coming and heading towards the 2 of them down there. Where do you go? What do you do? It's your turn.
I am going to look at Riddance and say, I have an idea for Pan. I'm headed there, and I will fly down to Pan.
Okay.
And with my last second level spell, I would like to try and cast Hold Person.
Okay.
Oh no, we know how this went last time.
Every single time I have cast this spell, which is like 4 times, broken through.
I'm more thinking about the last time you cast a spell on Pan, and Pan turned the Bane spell against you.
I leveled up and I swapped out Bane. I don't have Bane anymore specifically for that reason.
He quit a spell out of trauma.
I'm like, no.
Okay.
No more.
What's the saving throw there?
16?
No, what's the what is it?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay, that's gonna be a 19.
Damn it.
I am sorry.
Okay.
Okay, but that's all right. Pan does not hold. Pan is kind of somersaulting through the air, having a good old time, fighting trees even, just having a grand old time. Riddance, you are right behind Arlie. You follow her, I assume?
Yeah, Riddance just heard Arlie decide to go on a plan and be confident about that. And so he's just kind of in the air seeing there's Pan. Where's Jahan in relation to Pan?
Above Pan, about 40 or so feet in the air, 40, 50 feet in the air, maybe.
Okay, then Riddance would see kind of like the swarm surrounding Pan and is going to just like bullet towards Pan and just close distance with Pan.
Okay. All right. You just kind of do your max amount of movement, get up there. Do you do anything else?
Do I have the space? Expeditious Retreat gives me bonus action
Yeah.
to take the dash action.
Yeah.
Do I have a chance to do an ability at all?
An ability? No, probably not. But you could say something if you want.
I could say something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just look Pan in the face and say, "You broke your promise." That's it.
Okay. Perfect. Very good. At this point, the Lost Ones come marching up through the woods behind Pan. There aren't many of them. These are the ones you were not able to convince to come to your side, including Nibs. So there are only 5 of them, but they are heavily armored, heavily armed, and they come up and approach right behind Pan. They don't have enough to do anything yet, but they are there. And that brings us to Jahan.
Hi. I'm captain of Team Stupid.
Great.
So I would like to 2v5 the Lost Ones.
Blaine.
So Jahan is going to fly down away from Tinkerbell, so Tinkerbell can have her attack of opportunity. I don't care.
She's gonna take it. Hang on, she's gonna take it. It's disadvantage.
Okay.
She's gonna take it. Oh, she's gonna whiff. What is Tinkerbell? Okay.
But I'm also going to shoot a glare at Tinkerbell for doing this in the first place.
Okay. Cool. Shade scent.
Shade scent.
Shade scent to Tinkerbell.
Rattlesnake noise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to fly down and land behind Pan, in between Pan and the Lost Ones, and look at Pan and say, "Pan, you're right. I was kind of cheating before. After all, it was 2 against 1. And I'm going to pull out the long braid tie that's been holding my hair back, and as I do, my hat flies off, revealing Emmy right on top of me.
Yeah.
Get him, Emmy.
Yes.
Okay. Emmy flies up and squeeze and flies in a little circle and is so happy.
Oh my god.
For our new listeners who are not used to this, Emmy is a tiny little beholder that loves everybody and starts to do little flips in the sky.
And
And
I would like to look at the Lost Ones and be like, 5 against 2. Seems fair. And I'm going to charge forward with my staff directly at Nibs.
you go at Nibs. Okay,
Yes.
make that attack.
First attack is going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, I'm going to burn a 2nd level spell slot to also Divine Smite.
Okay.
So that is going to be a d6 and 3 d8s, I believe. Is Nibs undead? Undead or a fiend?
No, what do you think?
I'm asking you, because I don't know.
No, Nibs is not undead.
Or fiend? Good. That is going to be... 21 damage as I strike into Nibs with my first attack.
Okay, 21.
Mhm.
Great.
And then
That
I'm
is
going
a big chunk of nibs, yeah.
fantastic. And then I like to make my second attack against Nibs too.
Okay.
That is a non-natural 20 to hit.
Good. Hits.
And I'm going to burn a first level spell slot to Divine Smite.
Burn them all. Okay, go for it.
That's D6 and 2D8s.
Paladins are so cool.
That's a lot. That's gonna be 23 damage against Nibs.
Is bloodied for the first time in a long time. Possibly ever on Neverland. Nibs is okay. He's still standing, still in fighting stance, but there are bloodied marks all over, and he looks pretty weakened, like even like holding up his sword. He's got both hands on it now just to lift it.
And Jahan just looks at Nibs and says, I told you I could fight.
Pan looks back at what's going on with Nibs and the lost ones and says, what are you doing? Just get rid of them. And flies up and is going to lunge down at Tessa and do a lunge attack. Pan kind of flies up into the air, kicks off an imaginary surface, and lunges sword first at what looks like May Mannering. Ooh! I'm sorry.
It's fine.
20.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm glad you're fine with it. Let's see what that does. That's gonna be 13 damage.
Okay.
Okay. So Pan takes that. Okay. So we've got, just FYI, sorry about that. We've got some advantages or re-rolls from bits. So let me know if you use those, and we'll save your inspiration for those. Okay, thank you, chat. And so Pan does that move. That is Pan's turn. Tessa, you are up.
Okay, distance-wise, how is everybody arranged here? Like, how far from the Lost Ones is Pan?
Pan is about 30 feet in front of the Lost Ones. In between them is Jahan. And Pan has just struck and come directly into contact with you and is now within 5 feet of you. And then we have Arlie and Riddance kind of right in that same area.
Okay. I look at Pan. I don't say anything, but I slowly drop the disguise self and let it kind of like fizzle.
Yeah, you want it to like slowly,
very dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cast Fireball, centered in such a way, because Pan's it's a 20-foot radius sphere, so 40 feet wide, so that it hits. I'm so sorry, Jahan, that it's going to hit Pan and the Lost Ones.
Okay, it's going to hit Pan and the Lost Ones.
And I think also Jahan. I'm
It
so
will
sorry.
hit Jahan as well. What's the save on that?
It is a dex save of 16.
In the arms of the
Pan. Pan becomes engulfed in these flames And then you see Pan kind of shake and laugh. They just kind of fall away. The lost ones, however, do start to singe and burn.
So are they immune to fire, or did they just succeed on their save?
They chose to succeed.
Okay, so they still take half damage from this.
Yes.
So Riddance was in Pan's face before Pan moved. Is he out of the blast?
Yes, because Pan moved to a different location since then. So Riddance would not be caught in this, but Jahan would.
Okay.
Jahan rolled a 15 with my bonus. It's 16, so I passed.
Jahan passes. So what's the half damage there?
I'm getting there.
A million.
A million.
So many.
So it's 31 points of fire damage total. So anybody who failed takes 31. Everybody who succeeded takes 15.
Fantastic.
16. Okay, very good.
Up in the air, Arlie, you hadn't seen Tessa before. Like, she's got this slow reveal, and then whoosh,
Hard eyes.
explosion of fire.
So many hard eyes.
We are such an extra group.
I
We
know.
love the
Extra.
dramatic reveal.
We love the drama.
The lost ones are hit
And I just
pretty
like
hard.
give Pan like a wink.
Yeah. Yes, you do that. Tink flies over the lost ones, sprinkles fairy dust on them, and will kind of cast a little extra magic, give them a little boost. So some of the lost ones are going to heal up just a little bit. They're still looking pretty hurt, though. They took all 31 points of that damage.
How's Nibs doing? Is Nibs still up after everything?
Nibs is not getting up, it seems. Nibs
Fantastic.
looks to be unconscious, but the rest of them are flying now up into the air, weapons drawn.
And just for the record, like as Tessa reveals herself, she's not looking great. Like it looked super badass, but she's also a little pale and kind of like clammy and not looking too great.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay. At this point in time, the ground starts to rumble. And you feel vibrations. Anyone standing on the ground feels some vibrations coming as Nibs falls into a sinkhole in the ground.
Can I try and catch Nibs?
You can make a dex save to try to reach and catch.
I don't really want him to die despite how mean he is.
I just want him to fuck off, okay?
16.
16. Yeah, you grab just at the last second a limp arm because Nibs is unconscious. You grab him. You pull him out. I guess.
I'm pulling him out.
Yeah, you pull him out. And you look below and you see someone who is clearly one of the mollusks, kind of covered in seaweed and shell bits and things, kind of looks up at you and like, what, why? What? Okay. And at which time, all around you see scattered throughout some of the mollusks kind of crawl up out of the dirt. They all look a little damp, a little pale. They have all been underground for a long time, and adjust kind of to the light a bit before they ready their weapons. Arlie?
So before I do anything, question.
Okay.
So that huge fireball, this is a nevergreen forest. Does that mean the trees are dead?
Yes.
Inflammable.
So they're on fire right now?
Yeah, they're singed.
Whoops.
Are any actively on fire?
No.
Okay, never mind. That answers that question.
Mhm.
It was like, only I can start wildfires.
That's fine. I'm going to instead. Is Tessa within 60 feet of me?
Yes. Yeah.
Sweet. Then I will just from a distance bonus action healing word. Just at a first level for now because that's pretty much all I have left.
Okay, great. Spend your spells. Get
Shut
rid
up,
of
Diana.
Yes.
Max healing. So 4 + 5 is 9 points back.
I
Okay.
look up at Arlie like, thanks, babe.
You're welcome. Nose kiss.
Okay.
And then for my action, I am going to use. I'm actually going to look at Pan. I'm probably going to pass it again, but I have a class feature, or no, excuse me, racial trait. And I'm going to cast suggestion on Pan and be like, I'm going to pull out the little potion bottle and look at Pan and say, Pan, I realize this is not a great time, but look, we're not monsters, okay? We don't want our enemies to like die unlike you. So I suggest you drink this. It'll help.
You toss it to him?
No, I just hold it out.
You hold it out.
I'm waiting to see if the spell works before giving it to him.
Okay. What's the skill save on that one?
Wisdom 16.
Wisdom 16.
Fucking wisdom saves. Did he fail?
I'm sorry. Fast.
It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Pan looks over, kind of raises an eyebrow, and says, "Yeah, okay. You drink it," and then flies
Roll my
up
eyes and put it back in my pocket.
into the air.
Try something else. It's fine.
All right, Riddance.
Okay, so how far away is Tessa and Arlie from Riddance?
Tessa and Arlie are the closest of your friends to you at this point, with Jahan and Pan being the next closest. Yeah.
So Pan's not in their face right now?
No.
No? Okay. Riddance is going to run or fly over to Arlie and be like super loud about it and go, "Don't worry, I got this." And he's going to motion like behind her back or like out of view of Pan. And he's going to cast Minor Illusion to take a version of the contract.
Okay.
And then he's going to use the rest of his movement to kind of like get in Pan's face past him to kind of like hopefully pick up a distraction.
Okay. You do all of that. Make a performance check to...
Can I help him by like acting really panicked?
Yes.
Because I am pretty panicked. I'm like, how the hell did he get it?
Acting very panicked.
Acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with advantage, roll me a performance check to sell Pan on the idea that you've really taken this contract and are flying with it.
Going for it. Okay.
Yeah.
First roll was a 3.
Okay. Good job for helping, Arlie.
I won't even. Is it which proficiency? Performance.
Performance.
Well, okay. So 6 + 5 is 11. Can I re-roll it? Thanks to chat.
You can. You have a re-roll thanks to the chat.
That's on the floor now.
It belongs to the floor.
Okay, so that's a 10 plus 5, so 15 is the roll.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Pan is up in the air and kind of flying around, starts kind of lunging and is stabbing mollusks as they come up out of the dirt, laughing as this happens, and turns just to see this happen out of the corner of their eye as Riddance goes up to Arlie, reaches, and somehow seems to take this contract and start flying. Where do you fly to? What direction? Are you flying out of the woods, deeper into the woods, towards deeper into the center of the island, up in the air, straight in the air? Where are you going?
He's gonna fly to the stew pot.
Okay, so you fly back up to the lost camp.
Oh, is that where? Or wait, sorry, where are we? I thought we were there.
No, you're in the Nevergreen Forest, which is in the woods below on the ground proper of Neverland,
Okay.
right east of Mermaid Lagoon. So that's where you are right now.
Right. So he is going to fly towards Mermaid Lagoon.
Okay, you fly towards the mermaids. Got it.
Yeah.
Pan locks focus on you and looks happy. Starts following you. That's great. At this point, the lost ones who are in pretty rough shape
They're all on fire.
They're all on fire. They're in pretty rough shape, but they are still in fighting shape, and they are going to fight. There are 5 of them that are left standing with nibs on the ground. We are going to have 2 of them are going to fly up. Let's see. Where's Tessa right now? In the air or on the ground?
I think she's still on the ground.
She's on the ground. All right. We are going to have 2 that are going to fly and make attacks on Tessa. One's going to miss. One's going to hit for 6 damage.
Okay.
And let's see, 2 are going to attack Arlie.
Perfect.
I am right here,
I
looking like
know.
a snack.
A tiny beholder looking like a flower on my head.
We know. Again, similarly, one is going to hit, one is going to miss.
Okay.
For 4 damage on Arlie. And the other is going to be focusing on defending against the mollusk. Ooh. Nat 20, which means 2 of the mollusks are getting hit. Okay, at that point, it is Jehan's turn. Fighting is officially broken out. This is a bit of chaos now.
Yes. Brand new question for you, as I ask you every single turn.
Yes.
To open my jar with Russ, what would that be? Is that like an action? Is that bonus action? What do I have to do?
That will take your bonus action.
Okay. Bonus action, open the jar with Russ in it.
Okay.
And then look at Russ and say, so this is getting really big and really bad. I need you to help me use fairy magic. Okay?
To do what? I got one good thing that we can do together.
Okay. We're gonna grow some trees under the lost ones.
Russ smiles. Cool plan.
Jehan is going to take their staff with all the antlers on top,
yes,
turn it upside down and strike it into the ground. And as they do, they want trees to like explode underneath all the lost ones.
Okay. Russ will, just as it hits the ground, grab the staff, which we're going to be very extra, glitter all the way down, like, and seeping into the staff and into the antlers. You make that spell modifier roll with advantage.
Fantastic. So that is going to be a bonus 18.
Excellent. All right, describe how this happens for me.
So the glitter begins to travel down and it changes the staff and the antlers to become this green color. And as it strikes the ground, there is shaking. As the ground starts to shake, much like before.
Yeah.
But this time, 5 beautifully green and lush trees explode out of the ground underneath the lost one, sort of either hitting them with the branches or consuming them in leaves. And I just want to try and take them all out of this like situation, or at least prevent them from hurting anyone else, whether they're trapped by branches or whatever.
Yeah, so the lost ones have flight, so it's very difficult, but the branches kind of come up and like weave over each other, like connecting to the trees around them, and the lost ones are sort of in like a dome of a cage of branches right now, still trying to like stab out through the middle, but they're like stuck now in one place. Yeah.
Jehan is going to give Russ a high five and be like, okay, I'll see you later, and then is going to fly after Pan.
Yeah, Russ will kind of just whew, and kind of disperse into glitter. That point, Pan has got their eyes on you, Riddance, sees what you have supposedly done, and is very happy that it is you that has done it, and starts to fly after you at full speed, easily catching up to you very quickly.
Yeah.
And will kind of grab Riddance by the shoulder and spin him around in the air to face Pan, and is going to grab that contract out of your hand. It is not corporeal, is it?
It's not. No.
As soon as his hand goes through it, he's just going to kind of try to throw you to the ground. Which maybe kind of like sends you through the air down a couple of feet, but doesn't actually send you all the way down to the ground. Sure. And he's just going to like turn about face and fly as fast as Pan can go, straight back toward Arlie, sword out straight in front of Pan's face and come right into Arlie on their next turn.
Shit.
Tessa, Pan is flying right at your girlfriend's face.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead. And what do you do?
I'm going to fly up and get in between Arlie and Pan, like kind of fly in front of her.
Sure.
And because I can do this because of class things, I can cast Bane without using a spell slot because I know Pan's real name. And I'm going to do that. Cast Bane on Pan.
Great. Is there a save?
Incidentally, is there like anybody else around, like within 30 feet that I could hit with that? Like bad guys, or are they all elsewhere?
No, they are now all elsewhere because
that's fine.
Concealed by
So Pan needs to make a charisma save of 16.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nat 20, 25. I am sorry, but Bane is going to. You cast Bane on yourself.
That's fine. That tracks with how this is going.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Okay. You do anything else for your turn?
Swear.
Valid.
Great. Excellent.
I'll echo it.
At this time, kind of with a rallying war cry, the scorpions now come charging into the woods. All of them flying, hovering off the ground. You do not see Kate anywhere. It seems she has done her big task. and is flying about. They are flying about into the woods and start to come charging in between Pan and you. And they all try to make attacks. Let's see what's gonna happen there.
Somebody please hit Pan.
Okay, yeah, no one's done any damage to Pan. Just FYI.
I know.
We haven't done.
Incorrect.
I
I hit Pan last time.
You hit Pan last time, but that is it, and that is not enough. All right, so we've got some of the scorpions do some damage to Pan. Actually, not so bad. A couple of them charge and kind of swipe as he is flying by them. It is kind of the best that they can do, but they do get him on a couple of their hits for a total of 20 damage there. So not so bad, but he keeps flying right through. At which point the mollusks look a little bit kind of suppressed into the ground. This is not their strong suit. They were really hoping that that surprise attack taking them into the ground would have worked, but it was not as effective as they thought it would be. All right. Arlie?
You know, seeing my girlfriend in front of me, seeing Rufio's people, the scorpions, I'm like, oh, they're here. That's great. Pan is still coming at me. So I'm going to go a little bit up in the air, and I'm going to wait till Pan is like maybe 20 feet from me, and I'm going to cast Shatter at 3rd level.
Okay.
Pan needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Constitution.
Am I in that radius too?
No, I cast it in the air to make sure no one else would get caught.
Yes. Constitution, huh?
Yeah.
Fail.
Yes. Takes 4d8 thunder damage.
Roll 4d8. Roll that out. Oh,
Yeah.
that's yummy. Okay, go.
Okay. 6 and an 8. So that's 14.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. And then a 6 and a 7 plus 13, 27.
Yeah. Nicely done. Kind of what seems to happen is you cast the shatter and the thunder and lightning of the storm raging around you kind of clap all at once, like just around Pan. You see the air around them reverberate as they seem to kind of just freeze midair. That lunge that they were taking directly at you has come to a halt, which is good because that was going to make it very powerful on that next attack.
Yeah.
So they pause and look like they have been gut punched, essentially. At which point, I think, do you have anything else, Arlie?
I will say that if there were any trees or anything kind of within that area, they also take damage. So I imagine some trees are cracking / about to fall, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I will look back down at Tessa and bonus action cast another healing word.
Oh, nice. How much?
It's another 1st level. So
we're just gonna keep Tessa alive. Keep Tessa alive.
Keep the girlfriend up. That's little less this time. So that's 3 plus 5 is 8 points.
I will take it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Riddance?
Lower a kiss through the air.
Riddance, darling, what do you
Yes.
do?
So how far away is Riddance from Pan now? Because that was a pretty full movement back into.
Yeah, you will now. You're kind of hovering over Mermaid Lagoon, which is about 40 feet away from what's going on in here.
Oh, okay. All right. So Riddance is immediately going to chase Pan again.
Okay.
So I guess that's movement and bonus to catch up to him.
Absolutely. At this point, Morgan is going to say, "What are we doing, kid?" You cracked me out of this bottle. What do you want? What can I do?
Can you please just give me a hug?
Morgan just instinctively, clutches onto Ridden's midair and gives him quite a squeeze. Yeah, you got it, kid. Ridden's, how many spells do you have left?
I have, where are we at? I have 3 first levels and all my seconds are converted.
Spent converted. All right, I want you to take back 1 second level spell.
Oh, yo.
And with that, Morgan will hug you and disperse into fairy dust.
Awesome. So Ridden's like super invigorated, is going to spend all that movement and bonus to try to just get straight back to Pan if he can.
Absolutely. You can get back there kind of no problem. Not quite into combat with your movement, but like you're right back in the woods, right in the thick of it again.
All right. Is Ridden's within 15 feet of Pan?
Yeah, you would be.
Okay. Can Riddance say something and then cast a spell?
Yes.
Awesome. So Riddance is going to shout at Pan and just go, Pan! And he's going to pull out his card. And he's going to say, my name is Riddance, and I am the official greeter from the Department of Neverland Maturity, and you don't have any imagination. And he's gonna cast color spray at 2nd level on Pan.
Okay, what's the roll on that?
So it looks like I roll 8d10 because it's 2nd level.
Yep.
And if I can roll above Pan's hit points.
Remaining hit points. Oh God. Okay, hang on. Let me just look at what that is right now.
Yeah.
How many dice are you rolling?
Normally it's 6d10, but 2nd level is 2d10 more. So 8d10.
That's so many.
Is it worth rolling though?
It is like just possible for this to happen.
There's no way.
Do it.
Okay, all right, just go. I can't even imagine.
Right.
Just go.
All right. So count with me. So 7 plus 9
16
plus 4
20
plus 0. Wait, no, that's 10.
That's a 10.
10
Okay.
So that's
30.
30.
Sweet. Plus 5
35
plus 2
37.
37.
That's 6
plus 10
47.
47.
plus 9.
56
56.
6.
Okay, and so if it needed to be more than Pan's remaining hit points.
Yeah, it says the total is how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect. Creatures, which would just be Pan, would, in ascending order, their hit points, starting with the creature that has the lowest, which is just Pan. Each creature affected by the spell is blinded until the end of my next turn, if it succeeds above their hit points.
And what was our total?
56
56.
I am going to do something because the chat has given us a couple of extra dice.
Okay.
If everyone in the party is okay with not using them for advantages, I will give Riddance an extra damage die on this roll because
perfectly fine. Do it.
That's totally fine. Yes.
Okay, Riddance.
One more D10.
Roll one more D10.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do it. Come on, buddy. That is a 9.
64.
65.
60. Oh, yeah, 65.
65.
65.
Yeah. Okay. So you you blind Pan?
Oh my god.
Prudence? Blind Pan. Just barely. This just from the will of all of the inspiration in Neverland around you, you barely get this to go off. And Pan kind of halts in the air, putting a hand out, eyes open still, just like kind of looking around in confusion. I assume that's the end of your turn.
Oh, yes.
The lost ones are incapacitated, although Riddance's new friends, the other lost ones, have just made their way because not all of them can fly at this point. So there's been some struggle to get off of the floating island. They have come down finally and are coming by foot with a few of them in flight to your aid, and they run behind Riddance. That is their whole turn. That whole movement took them to get there. Jehan, you are up.
More stupid plans. Yay.
I love it. Good. Okay.
That's the only type of plan I make. Jehan, seeing that Pan is now blinded, is going to do stupid things such as asking Neverland to power them up. As in, Jehan looks at Neverland, looks around, sees everyone around them, and says, "Okay, fairy magic, lend me your strength." And after saying that, is going to make 2 attacks against Pan.
Excellent. Okay, go ahead.
Since he's blinded, I believe I get advantage on the attacks.
Yes, you do.
Fantastic. Okay, that's 1 natural 20.
Nice.
And that's a 17 on the second one.
Great. Okay. Let's do the natural 20 first.
So, with my natural 20, because I want to know how you rule this, if I use a divine smite, can I double my smite damage also?
Yes.
Fantastic. I will use my last spell slot to level 2 divine smite.
Oh my
So I
god.
can double
That's
all
your
my
last
damage.
spell slot?
That's my
That is
last spell
a
slot.
badass thing to do.
Wow.
So doubling my damage and everything, adding my additional damage, that is going to be 40 damage against Pan for my my attack, my natural 20 attack.
Okay.
And now for the second attack. Jesus.
I mean,
Okay.
second attack, I have no more spell slots left, so I can't
Okay.
boost it up.
All right.
Second attack, just a d6. I believe in your d6. That's going to be 6 damage.
Okay.
As Jehan, after asking Neverland to power them up, flies forward, winds back, and just clocks Pan across the head.
Flying Pan style.
Pan actually kind of spins through the air because Pan's flight does not really require them to have a lot of concentration at this point. So they actually just somersault kind of through the air, like corkscrewing away a couple of feet as that happens. Jehan, is that your turn?
I can't do anything else. I've used all my spell slots and everything, so I'm done.
Riddance, is there a how does Pan break the blindness?
It lasts until the end of Riddance's next turn.
And Riddance's next turn, so Pan can't break it from here.
Mhm.
Excellent. So Pan not being able to do that will spend their last legendary action here to summon their shadow again.
Fuck.
Pan's shadow again comes apart from themselves and will fly eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Me.
I think at Jahan at this point. Jahan is the last one to do damage to Pan. And will come straight at you and will try to make an attack. Is it still disadvantaged, Jahan?
No, Sanctuary left is the moment
Sanctuary
I
left.
start attacking people.
Thank you. All right. Ooh. 17.
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't
My
hit.
AC is
Oh
18.
god.
Oh.
Okay. Oh man, Jahan is so powerful.
I'm
Jahan,
strong.
pretty tough to hit.
Drunk.
All right. That is that for Pan. Tessa?
How does Pam look?
Pan looks confused, terrified, and hurt.
Like, as bad as Tessa was, like real bad, nibs level hurt, or like, it's gonna be painful in the morning, but they'll be fine.
Definitely not that third one. It's definitely
Okay.
it's definitely there's danger.
Then I am just
Pokemon danger noise.
I'm gonna just cast Magic Missile at 3rd level.
Fuck.
Auto hit.
Which I also believe because of my tiara, I get an extra +1 damage on each of those as
You
well.
do. You do.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. So it would be 5 darts total.
Yes.
Okay.
This is so spicy.
Mhm.
Okay. $27 points of force damage.
Jesus.
We know that's more than his hit points.
It is more than their hit points, yeah.
Tessa, will you please explain to me what happens here?
So, amidst the storm and the fire and all of this insanity that is happening around, Tessa looks at Jahan, who she may have accidentally set on fire earlier. Sorry about that still. And who has been so brave and so amazing in this. Looks at Riddance, who is just the most cheerful and amazing child she's ever run into in her whole life. And looks at Arlie with just sparkly heart emoji eyes. And takes a breath and just like snaps her fingers, and 5 glowing darts just shoot out of the lightning bolts in the sky and just into Pan.
Pan is blinded, is confused, and does not even really have any opportunity to try to undo what's happened, as these darts all simultaneously hit into Pan. Pan just kind of floats evenly and calmly to the ground. And for the first time ever that you've seen, is not moving. The entirety of Neverland
happened.
seems to go quiet. The clouds stop rolling thunder, stop spitting lightning, but they do not roll away. They do not clear the skies. Nothing happens. The lost ones that are in the dome of trees set by Jahan and Russ are dead silent. Swords and bows and things drop to the ground. the mollusks kind of climb slowly up out of the ground. The scorpions surround timidly the body of Pan, sword still kind of out. The lost ones that are behind you, Riddance, also seem very quiet. A few of them kind of staying very close to you, and kind of looking at you with kind of a scared, confused, anticipating face, as everybody is just abnormally quiet. And I think we should probably take a break there.
One question. I have one question.
Yes.
What is Tink doing?
Good question.
Don't see her.
Okay.
At this time. All right, so we should take a break because we went a little longer without a break than we normally do because that fight scene was unbelievable. Before we go to this break, is everybody okay?
Yes.
Are we all okay? Good.
Yes.
Excellent. I want to thank with just enormous thanks to all of the patrons, all the people in the chat. Big thanks to our VIP circle of patrons, Jack C, Donald G, Nerdy T, Michelle E. Why do you all rhyme? Why is this intentional? Abigator, there we go. Anino and Andy T. All right, lots of E sounds in there. Thank you to those awesome patrons. And a shout out to Roll20 for sponsoring us while we go to break. Please feel free to go to roll20.net/start/WTTP and sign up for your free account, run your own games. Very soon, if you want to run one in Neverland, you could do that too. And just thank you to everybody who's been in chat, giving us subs and giving us extra rolls and everything. Fiction So Real and Realm, you guys are really crushing it. And Black Kevin, of course, is also awesome today. And we're just really grateful for all of you. Ren, are we good to take a break? We're good to take a break. All right, so everybody take 5, walk around, stretch your legs, and we'll come back to this after that. Okay.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot, your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware, it's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or 5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, But also, every 500 bits or a Tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent. And every 1000 bits or Tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Oh my God. Welcome back. I'm so stunned and ready to jump right back into this. So thank you everybody for bearing with us on our break, and I hope you did too. Right now, the scene set is the Nevergreen Forest, bunch of dead trees around, a few lost ones stuck under a tree branch dome. Pan, silent and unmoving on the ground. And our lost ones here, kind of scattered about, with Tessa right in front of the body of fallen Pan. The rest of the crowd around you are made up of the mollusks and the scorpions, and the remaining lost ones standing behind Riddance, all silent. You are no longer in an initiative order. What are you doing?
Stabilize Pan.
Yeah, I'll go over.
John's gonna try and stabilize Pan, or at least check if
Jahan and Arlie approach Pan's body and do what?
Could I do a medicine check?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I'm double proficient in medicine, so we'll see how this goes.
Spicy.
Oh, so spicy. Well, that is a 14 plus 7 for a 21.
Yeah. Pan looks to be physically dead for all intents and purposes. However, Pan is so magical that your medicinal knowledge seems kind of intertwined. So Pan somehow seems alive and dead at the same time.
That is more than mildly disconcerting.
Okay.
Schrodinger's Pan.
Schrodinger's Pan.
Jahan also approached the body. What do you do?
Jahan's going to approach the body, look at Arlie and say, Arlie, be very careful. I'm going to do something dumb and do lay on hands and give Pan 1 hit point.
Can I be prepping just like firebolt as like just in case some nonsense arises?
Yes.
Okay.
You can have firebolt at the ready.
Riddance is gonna just kind of like stand not over Pan's head, but like at Pan's head, just like looking down.
I'm gonna have the memory potion bottle in my hand, and I'm gonna thumb off the cap.
As Jahan's doing this, Jahan's saying, come on, you big dummy, I don't want you to die.
I mean,
just cast 1 HP.
Okay. You cast the 1 HP of lay on hands onto Pan, and you do see Pan take a breath in. But but will kind of just blink open their eyes. Doesn't seem to move.
As soon as I know that they're conscious, that potion bottle is going in his mouth.
Okay. So you feed a memory restorative potion.
Yes, that I have been praying and praying and praying and praying would work on Pan with the Neverland magic, with the fairy magic.
You feed a memory restorative potion to Pan. Give me your spell modifier and a roll like we've been doing for that Neverland magic to take effect.
So my modifier is 5.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
It's D&D.
It's a D&D.
I have not done that in so long, but okay. What happens right now is Pan also rolled a natural 20.
What?
And so what is happening is you feed this potion to Pan. Pan, eyes open, still too weak to move, but just kind of hands come up into their hair and hold like that.
I'm going to not unkindly, but forcefully say, you have lost yourself. You need to learn what you've lost.
Can I open my bottle and let Sarah out?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
She looks kind of like, what?
Yeah, chaos.
Hey, how's it going?
Chaos occurred. Can you help that potion stick a little in Pan? And I point, like, just maybe give it a little push.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your hair looks awesome, by the way.
Cool. Tiara? You're welcome. And she will kind of fly over Pan and sprinkle some extra fairy dust on there, and will kind of disperse into her glittery self. The chat would like to know what Emmy is doing. So, but
really good question.
Emmy is doing. Jahan, Emmy was last hovering over your head. So why don't you tell me what Emmy is doing?
Emmy at this point has, so now that Jahan's hair is like fully free, Emmy has more or less like used their eye stalks to make a nest out of Jahan's hair and is just sitting on top.
Sure, Emmy is resting. Okay, Emmy has
Emmy has had enough fun for the
Emmy
day.
is not really made for combat, more for cuddles. And
does the one eye stalk still have a little flower on it?
Yes, it does. A flower bonnet.
Excellent.
Riddance, you're standing over Pan as Pan starts to, eyes kind of darting back and forth, hands like clutching their head. What are you doing?
Riddance is gonna kind of like kneel down and put his hand on Pan's shoulder and just kind of say, it hurts, but you just kind of have to live with it. You took choice away. Everybody gets a choice until you take choice away.
Pan doesn't say anything in response, but Pan's eyes that were darting like back and forth, like kind of lock with yours for a second and then stop. Jahan, did you have something you wanted to do?
Jahan is going to give Pan a hug and say, "It's okay. It'll all be okay."
As you hug Pan, a very timid, very, very afraid Tinkerbell will kind of reveal herself from the trees and slowly approach, coming up to rest on Pan's shoulder and kind of clutch into their hair.
I can't even think of, like, I'm so mad at Tinkerbell because our it was broken. We had to verbally tell her that we were done, and we weren't done.
And we didn't tell her.
We didn't say that the contract was over. I guess I just look at her and be like, you broke your promise. But based on what I'm seeing right now, you broke it for an understandable reason.
Where's Puck?
Puck is actually over by the lost ones, kind of trying to saw them out of the branches and kind of delivering some healing. They have all dropped their weapons, and Nibs is unconscious. Sorry, a couple of the scorpions have brought the unconscious body of Toodles also down from the floating island. Toodles is also unconscious.
I look at Tinkerbell. I look at Arlie first, and then I look at Tinkerbell, and I say, the deal with us is officially complete. Even though you broke it early, we say it's done.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you need from us now anyway?
Riddens just looks up and goes, well, I mean, we're going to need some play buddies and probably going to have to clean this place up a little bit.
And we're going to have to get the mermaids to stop taking memories and start playing. And we're going to need to fix the storm.
And there's something about the pirates. I mean,
Yes,
there's
the
a
pirates
lot
need to
about
leave.
Neverland that needs to be fixed.
Do you like to play tag?
No, but a couple of the lost ones, like hands shoot up. Like even a few of them under like the twigs, like kind of
like semi-conscious, just maybe.
We would play tag. Tinkerbell shakes her head and just says, I think we just need to go somewhere else.
No.
Where would you go?
Anywhere.
Would you come back here?
She kind of looks down at Pan's like face and then looks back. No, we'll stay away from here.
Wait,
You don't have to. You just
I have an idea.
can't break it again. Yeah.
Jehan will hold out their hand towards Tinkerbell to stand on. There's no maliciousness in Jehan right now. It's just pulling out their hand.
She'll cautiously acquiesce and hop on.
Well, we were told that this place is a place for people to be guided, a place for people to come when they have nowhere else to go. I think that once this is all done, there's going to be a new Pan. But you and Bran, I say,
Bran.
looking at Tessa,
Yeah, Bran.
have some work to do. You have no place else to go. And I think that a new Pan's going to need some assistance. And I think that you and Bran need to figure out who you want to be. You're muted.
Oh. Tink will think about it for a second and then kind of says, look, like, that's fine, okay? But this isn't gonna like just be okay right away. And no one has taken over that contract yet. And if
How do you know?
because if that had happened, you would be changing this place already and we would be gone.
I mean, there's a giant upside down tree over there with a bunch of kids in it.
Can I take a step kind of back away from this and look up at these storm clouds and just try to pull on Neverland magic, whatever little sparkle dust Sarah left when she poofed out, and see if I can at least get the sun to come back out.
Go ahead and roll.
I'm gonna use inspiration just to see what happens.
Okay, go for
Terrible, but it also wasn't great. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with the first one. 16.
Okay. The clouds that are still there start to like roll away a little bit. It's not very dramatic. But they do start to dissipate, to clear. Hank shakes her head and says, no.
Well, there's one more person who has to sign the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then do it, but don't, you can't just wait. And you can't just expect that Bran is just going to sit and allow it to happen. If they get the chance, they'll take it back. And right now, there is a chance that they could change. Something is happening and they are remembering a lot. And it is not going to take only a few minutes for that to adjust. And if I'm just saying, maybe we can come back at some point, but maybe we should take some time.
I think some time away would be a very good idea. And I also think that your return should be agreed upon by the next Pan. It's up to their decision, their discretion, whether or not you can return.
And when.
And
fine.
when.
Totally fine. Just, we should not be here
Go.
until, thank you. Great. Tink is going to like blow some fairy dust over onto Pan, and she is actually going to grab like the collar of his tunic and lift up into the air and fly with him kind of in her arms. And
is she still super tiny? So like this tiny little fairy carrying a human. That's really
Exactly.
sweet.
Like it kind of has his clothes as like a knapsack, like underneath her, and like lifting her up into the sky and far and away.
As soon as they are out of like eyesight, I'm going to take off my leather armor, and I'm gonna take my dagger out, and I'm gonna make a slice right where the original opening was. I'm gonna like dig into the hole and pull out the actual contract.
That's so smart. Oh my goodness.
I told you could sign it when all this Pan business is done. I think there's a charred branch over there that you might be able to use to sign.
I think there's several.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Tessa's very good at that.
Thank you. Again, sorry, Shahan. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
I'm just
I
worried.
guess Riddance is gonna run and try to find a chart stick.
Yeah. The lost ones actually just kind of start helping you try to look for one. They all like have like peel some branches off, kind of showing you, being like, this one's the best one. Like, no, this one's the best one.
I tied a feather to this one.
Yeah. They all have like creative uses. One of them actually like chops the tip off their arrow and like dips it in some like liquid in their pocket. It's like, try this one. And yeah, you can easily find a number of things that can be used as a utensil to sign this contract. Looking at the contract, the signatures that you all had put there, it's like almost like you can see the scratch marks in the parchment, but the ink from them has disappeared, and you see still the stitching of Bran's name is still there in that gold lettering.
Oh.
So it's none of us.
Well, maybe we had to get Brand's signature off before somebody signed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We don't know if we really finished. I mean,
yeah, this shadow came pretty quick. I don't know that I finished my name.
Try again, maybe?
Try again?
All four of us?
Puck is gonna kind of fly over from freeing the lost ones, kind of like sweating. It's like, okay, well, that was a job. You're gonna do this right now then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Everyone from Neverland seems to be here.
Everyone does. How do you all feel about all this? Just wondering. I don't, you do what you want to do.
A lot's happened in the last like hour. But May did say that the decision to sign the contract should be taken recklessly. And so I think
and thoughtfully.
And I think after the events of the last 4 days, and especially the last hour, we're all in, this is a really unique way my brain is working right now, both thoughtful and reckless at the exact same time. So it feels like a prime moment to sign that. I don't know what the rest of you think.
I mean, would we really have fought so hard for Neverland if we didn't care
Want to
so
save it?
much and want to save it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here maybe 6 weeks, but it feels like home. The people here feel like home, and I don't see why not.
Yeah.
John looks and says, I feel happy. It was hard, it was scary, but we did something good. And I know nothing's fixed yet, and that there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done to fix it, but there's a lot of fun that can happen along with it. And I asked Neverland for help, and it came. And I'm not going to leave even if I'm not the Pan, because Neverland gave me help, and I want to help them back.
And all of you want to stay here then?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Until the new Pan is done guiding us through whatever that we need to be guided through.
All right. I'm curious to see what happens then.
You and me both.
all are gonna try and sign it again then.
Wait, 1 sec. Arlie, can I please try something first?
Sure.
Tessa and John, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so Riddance will take the contract and kind of like put his claw hand over Brand's signature and try to just like concentrate and cast mending on the parchment to try to remove the signature.
You do, and you see that your magic like is like pulling at the stitching, and you can feel that the spell is working, but it doesn't come off. And Puck kind of just, it's a contract. Our contracts are kind of
contracty.
Yeah, good word. So you really need to get a new signature before
erasing the old one.
That's really the only way to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to look at it or anything?
Yeah, you know what? It might help to have a
what's actually in this
knowledgeable pair of eyes to look at this.
I think Reckless is fun and everything, but I thought
Jehan looks and says, I don't care.
All right. Well, no, go. I'm happy to be here for this.
And Jehan's going to look at Riddance and say, will you sign it with us? All of us now?
He just doesn't say anything. He just nods up and down a lot.
Jehan grabs a branch that Riddance didn't take.
Charred stick.
Tessa like gets a stick and kind of just casts a teeny tiny firebolt on each one of ours to make sure that it's charred enough at the end that our names will stick.
Nice.
You all message me something really quick privately and just tell me yes or no. Does your character want this to work for them? Think deep and give me that answer in this moment. Okay. Huh. Okay. Hmm. All right. Interesting. Okay. So you all take your pens and you put them simultaneously to this contract and sign your initials. And we're going to see what happens. Wow. All of you sign simultaneously. And you watch as your names etch into the parchment. Arlie, you watch as your signature goes into the paper and the ink settles. You see your name for a second, and then the ink kind of seeps into the parchment. And again, you just see sort of like the outline of the sketch. Tessa, you see your signature kind of come in ink, etched into the parchment. Similarly, the ink kind of seeps into the parchment and dissipates. Jehan, your signature goes in as ink, and for a moment stops, and you watch as yours and Riddence's signatures spin in circles of thread, stitching golden letters into this parchment as they become cemented, and Brand's signature turns to ink and melts away. You see Arlie and Tessa, you see this ink become stitching. You see Riddance and Jehan start to glow. Both of them look like fairy dust is outlining their silhouette for a moment. And they almost start to shift a little bit. The tones under their skin become brighter and more pronounced, like someone turned a light on underneath their skin, just highlights and glowing in places. The two of them sort of just instinctually hover up off the ground and then touch back down. And Riddance, would you first tell me the very first thing that would change about Neverland in the instance that Riddance became Pan? Just one thing that instantly happens.
What would instantly happen is that inanimate objects like trees or rocks or like clumps of dirt,
Mm-hmm.
When you look at them, their formations, their cracks in them, they're like the way the bark is woven, just looks like a smiley face.
Yeah. Okay. So
You know how you see smiley faces and things? You know?
yeah. All of this charred trees that are all around, they kind of start to shift, all of the breaks from the lightning and everything. Like it just looks like all the trees are just so happy. All the tree branches that were forming this dome around some of the lost ones have like actually started to like wiggle and rubber. Like they have this like silly elasticity to them and they're just so happy and joyful. Jehan, what is the very first thing, the one first change that would just instinctually happen?
Going along with the theme that Jehan has had through a lot of the series, the never-green forest becomes the evergreen forest as the trees which were once charred and dead come to life.
So everything thickens around you. It actually becomes a little dark, a little dim in here. Is the light that was shining from directly above your heads before is now obscured by thick, bushy, brushy trees that are all smiling, by the way. So all of the smiling trees are now sprouting leaves. Even the ones that have like fallen to the ground, like leaves, kind of come out from the tops of them. Tessa, Arlie, you watch as your children become magical, everlasting godchildren in front of your eyes. You do not feel terribly different in yourselves, but something that you notice is that the lost ones around you all kind of start hugging each other. Some of them come running up to all of you and look a little bit they look pleased, but they look scared. They look a little bit anticipatory, like they don't know exactly what is going to happen next. There's no idea what these two are going to be like, although so far it seems like smiling, happy, bushy trees, but that is all they know so far. Tessa and Arlie, what do you do?
As she kind of watches, like with the contract signing and everything, Tessa's just reached out and is like holding Arlie's hand through this. Probably crying.
Same. Definitely crying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crying, but like as soon as she realizes, one, oh God, there's two of them, and two, oh God, they're never gonna grow up. She's gonna like start laughing through the tears and be like, we're in it.
Oh God. We're so in it. We're so in it. Oh my goodness.
Arlie's just gonna lean her head on Tessa's shoulder like, oh God, what have we done?
I think it hits Jehan that like they're both Pan now. And Jehan is going to look at Riddance and go, "We're Pan!"
Riddance turns and goes, "We need a special handshake."
And I think Jehan's literally just going to like run to hug Riddance and just like, if Riddance will let them, pick them off the ground and just like spin in a circle with each other.
You 100%. And you spin up into like a little bit of a hover spin. The two of you, you feel like you no longer have to concentrate on that belief to harness that that ability to manipulate Neverland. And also flight just seems like it happens as a reaction. You hug each other, you hover a little bit. You wished for the trees to get bushy, and as it happened, you hovered a bit. Like it just is happening very naturally. But you don't feel any sort of new desires, new needs. There's nothing about you that has changed fundamentally. It is your abilities seem very heightened, very connected to Neverland, but you still feel like you, very much so mentally.
As the two of them land, Jehan's going to run over to the lost ones and start healing. Because I know that some of them were hurt. I know that Toodles is unconscious. I know that Nibs is also unconscious.
Yeah.
And I want all of them to make sure that they're healed. That is like
Absolutely.
the first thing Jehan's going to try and do.
Great. Yeah. The fairies had gotten to a couple of them. The scorpions had gotten to a couple of them with some fairy dust, which helped a little bit. But you kind of pick up the last and the most serious ones that were in the most danger, which in that group that you're at right now includes Nibs. Nibs kind of revives and looks around, looks at you, and cries, and kind of puts their weapon down as well. And
I'm going to give Nibs a hug and say, it's going to be okay. They're two pans now.
Nibs actually just like clutches into that hug and sobs. And it is good. It's a cathartic sob. It's a I don't have to be a warrior anymore sob.
Yeah.
And everyone starts to heal. The lost ones start to kind of get distracted by everything going on, and start pointing at trees and like pointing out shapes, and then start kind of playing tag and running about. The scorpions and the mollusks, some of them join in on the Lost Ones activities and start playing. Some of them seem to start discussing and approach with Puck as well and say, well, it's been an honor, but I have to go and let the rest of the fairies know that everything's been put back. And
return the contract.
I do have to do that as well. And also, some of these lovely folks would like to go back where they came from. Speaking of, you two ladies, you can, if you want to, go back where you came from, but you can also stay if you want. There's nothing on this paper that says that you have to leave.
Riddance just looks at both of them.
Jehan looks at both of them.
Oh no!
Damn it!
As I said, oh god, there's two of them.
And I think Jehan goes up and like grabs Riddance's hand and says, Riddance, if they want to go home, I think they can.
I know. And Riddance just starts crying.
Oh no!
Jehan also starts crying.
Oh
shit!
We are the shit.
I look at Puck. Is it a one-way trip, or can we come back?
Well, I suppose there are all ways that you could come back, but there is one time where you definitely will come back.
When is that?
Oh, well, I not to be, you know, grim or anything, but everybody dies, you know, and then you'll come on back here.
Oh.
Maybe we could go back just to say goodbye and then come back. I'm thinking I'm looking at Tessa. I might want to help the mothers.
That's what I was thinking too. If I could help some of these kids and people that want to get home, help them, fly
and help
home
the new
and
ones
find a
acclimate,
famous.
maybe?
Yeah.
Well, there is one way that I could see facilitating that, and that is that now that there's two of them and leaving won't be very much of a problem, if one of them came with you to escort you back to say your goodbyes and then brought you back, then you could do that.
Riddence's back straightens up like a full 2 feet.
Jahan as well.
But one should stay, especially since Neverland just kind of got all chaotic all at once.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I agree, but I can't choose. So I'm going to look at Jahan and Riddance. Like, you're going to have to do rock, paper, scissors. The only way to do it fairly.
I don't have any scissors, and Riddance just starts crying again.
Oh, goodness.
Show Riddance how to do rock, paper, scissors with their hands.
I'm gonna look at Tessa and be like, Riddance has to go with you for this, and hand you the bowl.
I just pulled Jehan into a big, tight hug.
Jahan hugs you back and says, let them know I'm okay.
I will. I made a promise. I'll bring it back to them.
I don't want to go see them because I know that they'd be even sadder if I had to leave.
Okay. With that, Jahan, you stay. You help kind of healing along with the scorpions that stay behind, healing the rest of the lost ones that are hurt, kind of finding a few scattered. There are still some up on the lost floating islands that are a little bit hurt. There's some scorpions, some mollusks that are hurt. You kind of spread the love and make sure that everybody is up and on their feet. Riddance, you know the way to everywhere. You start flying up into the sky to take like 15 people home, and you know where all of them reside among the stars. It's just like you get up into this atmosphere and you see little paths, and like the stars are pointing like big arrows to each place that you have to go, and it just makes sense. And you lead your friends to say their goodbyes first. First to Tessa. Who do you say goodbye to?
I think she goes back to Waterdeep to see her grandmother.
She smells like incense and herbs and spices, and gives you a just a simple like rag from the kitchen that is so full of garlic smell and like herb smell that's just seeped in, that you just know that no matter how many times you wash this, it will always smell like the kitchen, like this kitchen. Mm-hmm. And she just hugs you real tight.
And I hug her back and say, I couldn't find her, but at least now I'm safe. I promise.
I trust you. She just kind of feels and looks like she knows you're going to be okay.
Is Riddance there?
Yeah, Riddance is there for all of these conversations that are going to happen.
Okay.
Arlie, who do you say goodbye to?
My mother. She's the only person I have, and I bring Tessa and Riddance with me to the Temple of Helm that we live in. And as soon as I see her, I run up and start crying and apologizing for the fight we had and for running away.
She was mid prayer and also starts crying and is just thanking Helm over and over again that you're just alive, that you're safe, that you're okay, and just says, forget the fight. Forget the fight. I'm just happy you're okay. And hugs you and tells you that as long as you're okay, you do whatever makes you happy.
I'm gonna look back at Tessa and Riddance and be like, I have a family. I found one, and I don't want you to think that I'm abandoning you. I need to be where they are.
She goes up and she hugs both Tessa and Riddance and kind of squeezes them nice and tight too. Says, this is two good pieces of news in one. You're okay, and I'm a grandmother.
Yes, don't ask about how it happened.
Okay, good. When you three, you drop off everyone else in their homes with their people, and the last stop that you make is Jahan's village, which many of you know the story of what happened to Jahan's village prior. It does not look to be very damaged. It looks to be in under lots of repair. It looks like lots of huts have been recently rebuilt. It looks like there's lots of things that have been repaired. The temples and things are all freshly made. It looks like a lot of work has been done. And you don't know what Jahan's fathers look like, but when you approach and land in this village, very distinctly, there are two men who look at you and have this drawn feeling to come over immediately to you, and they see that bowl in Tessa's hands. And for a moment, the two of them show you the most horror-stricken eyes you've ever seen.
Okay. I look back at Riddance and Arlie and say, I've got this. And I walk up to them and I say, they're fine. They're alive. They're happy. They're fine. But they can't come home. And they wanted me to give this back to you.
One of them looks a little bit timid and distraught, but the other takes the bowl and holds it and kind of clutches it for a second before putting his hand on his husband's shoulder and kind of steadying him and says, I believe you.
Their name is Jahan. And you should be, I know you are, you should be really proud of them.
They kind of like collapse into each other and hug the bowl together, and then kind of like extend their arms to pull you in as well. And just take you in and say, that sounds very right. Jehan feels very right. And after some time spent with each of these very important groups of people, having similar experiences like this, although not with people you're familiar with, some of the lost ones have similar touching moments that you don't recognize. And then you all kind of fly back up through the stars. And as you do, all of those moments do not become any less precious to you, but you see Neverland in the distance and feel this very intense sense of home and of peace and joy. You most especially, Riddance, you feel that Neverland has always been Riddance's home and is even more so just drawing you there. When you come back, Jehan has done a lot of healing. A lot of people are kind of back on their feet and playing and enjoying their fun. And the sun is bright. There are not a single cloud in the sky. There is not a single tree without leaves. And every figment, every critter is cuddly. Everyone wants to play. Every horrible monster wants to play. It is playtime for all on Neverland. And at that moment, we have extended to our maximum amount of time. And we will close this chapter of Neverland and the Runaways here at this moment. I could not be more proud of all of you.
Wait. Did Arlie and Tessa stay?
Yeah, we stayed.
Yeah, we came back.
They came back to Neverland with you. They just said goodbyes.
Okay, well, at the last stop, when it became clear that the two of them were coming back to Neverland,
Yes.
Riddance is just gonna give them a quick hug and say, "You're my happy thought."
No.
And then they can fly back to Neverland.
Okay. Good. Very good. You all go back to Neverland. Neverland is your home as long as you want it to be. The contract is not there with you, and you know that if you ever want to be done with it, you just have to get someone else to sign, someone else who's right for the job. And that is it. Thank you, everybody, for this, for everything. I am going to just really quickly, while everybody tells me how awesome they are, please tell me all of the cool things you all do in addition to this thing that we have been doing here. Tell the audience who you are. Can we start with Russ, please?
Hi. I'm Russ.
That's a mood.
Russ
Yeah.
Wild. You can find me on Twitter at Russ Wildest. You can find me GMing the Prism Pals podcast, a all queer, all family friendly, all ages podcast that plays D&D. You can find me on Mondays on FCRD's channel playing Star Trek Adventures, where I'm playing a space cowboy at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also now find me as a Copper best-selling author
Yeah.
in Unbreakable, a pan-Asian anthology full of D&D 5e adventures.
Yes.
Just hit Copper status this morning.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this. I am Sarah. You can find me on Twitter at ArclightPhoenix. Phoenix has no vowels. If you put vowels in, you will find somebody else. You can find me in many places for the next few weeks. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, I am on Other Doc's channel playing in a mini campaign of The Sprawl for some cyberpunk chaos, playing the hacker. Don't really know what's going on. This upcoming Monday at 9:30 here at Welcome to the Party, I'll be running the side quest season finale for Lady Blackbird. And because I'm everywhere, starting May 16th with the next Welcome to the Party season, Saturdays at 8 p.m., you can find me running the Waverly Summer 98 game, a bubble gumshoe campaign of 90s nostalgia, magic, and weirdness.
So cute. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Morgan.
Okay, sure. Hi. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this with us. My name is R. Morgan Slade. You can find me on YouTube at R. Morgan Slade for some nerdy sea shanty fun. Or as well, I'm a contributor on the DMs Guild. Unbridled is a collection of adventures with hags and unicorns and hags rowdy unicorns, and it is a fantastic time, and I wish you would check it out.
Oh, my children are so good at everything. I'm so proud of everyone all the time, forever. Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. Since you can't really find me on here anymore, you can find me every other Wednesday on Chromatic Chimera. And I play in Agora's Bells, and I play the changeling wizard Saren Calvor. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at KatesD8s, where I pretty much just yell into the void about anything that comes to my head. You should see me when I get drunk and I go shopping on Amazon. That's really fun.
It is.
It's a blast. I bought a burrito blanket once. That was fun.
Nice.
And then sometimes you will also get to see Trinket, the sweetest little pug baby. Yeah. But that's about all for my projects at the moment.
That's wonderful. I am Diana. I'm Super Dylan everywhere. Please, if this was at all interesting to you, follow me on Twitter. It is just being read through by my last few like sensitivity readers and things to make sure that everything is good and no more edits are needed, and then you will be able to get this. I have recently made the decision, because this is the most labor of love thing I've ever done, that I'm just going to be putting this up for donations to the Native American Rights Fund, because as much as I love Neverland with all of my heart and soul, J.M. Barrie could have used a slap or two. So we're going to sell this for donations to that go to the legal collective for the Native voices that are fighting against the pipelines and things like that. So that is what will happen over the next couple of days. And just follow me to hear the official announcement for it. And then that's it. Wow, I love everyone and all of you. On our way out, I don't know who we're gonna raid, but I love everyone in the chat right now. The chat today has been so incredible. Everybody who followed, subbed, donated, subbed, chatted with us, and we're awesome. Please subscribe to Patreon, join us in Discord, go to sonerdwear.com and buy a Neverland t-shirt if you want. That's something you can do. And then please follow all these amazing people and follow all their awesome projects and everything that they're doing. And I don't know, let's go get Jess with a raid. And then we'll go raid, go JG and give her a boomerang in the chat, bangarang in the chat. I'm very hyper right now. And I don't know, that's it.
Thank you for running this, Diana.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have no idea when this will no longer be live because I never know. So I'm just gonna sit here and do this space until we're gone.
I don't know.